This week, let's talk about relearning how to learn. Hey everybody, Randy Gage here. I want to welcome you to another episode of Prosperity TV, and I want to talk about learning this week and how we need to learn for success, to further our careers, to break through, to create innovation, to think differently. As you guys know, Mad Genius is out now in bookstores. It's been out for more than a week by the time you're seeing this. And one of the things I want to do with this book is to start a movement of critical thinking, a movement towards possibility thinking. And to do that, we have to rethink how we think, and we're going to have to relearn how we learn. So I want to read something, a little excerpt from the book. This is from, as most of you know by this point, I've divided Mad Genius into 3 books. Book 1, which is how we think now. How did we get into this area of thinking, this way of thinking, this level of thinking that it can't be done. It's always been done this way. This is the way everybody does it. That won't work because no one else has ever done that successfully. The herd thinking, all the memes we bought into. Book 2 is the history of the future, meaning looking at some of the issues and challenges and situations we're going to face in the next 10 years. And then book 3 is, of course, my entreaty to think differently, to think possibility, to think as a critical thinker, lateral thinking, creative thinking, look around the corner, see what's going to happen. So this little excerpt, this is from book 2, The History of the Future. August 13th, 2024. Danny, I just got your progress update and you're failing your 9-month online certification. It's no big deal, Mom. I'm sure I'll improve before the final certifications are issued. It is a big deal. If you don't pass this, you're going to have to go to college and get an MBA degree. If you have to settle for a college degree, you'll never get a good job and you'll make less money for the rest of your life. Okay, so what am I doing with that potential scenario? Which, by the way, could be a very real scenario in 2024, 8 years from now. Because it may get to the point where people, think of this, people who have to go to college settle for a less job and a less income than people who don't. That's how much we have to rethink how we think and how we learn. And one of the reasons I think about this and think this way about this is because the education model is broken. What we're teaching people how to memorize facts, which any 9-year-old could look up in their smartphone. We're not teaching people how to think. And that's what we have to teach kids at a very early age now. We have to teach them how to think because this is a skill set that needs to be developed. Here's something else I say in the book in this section on this. If I were running Google or Apple right now, the first thing I would do is set aside $50 million to start our own high school and university and begin offering housing, internships, and scholarships to the most talented and promising teens in the world. I wouldn't wait for the education system to catch up with the programs needed to prepare our workforce for success. I would create them. By coming at this situation absent the preconceived memes of the current education model, you could truly create the ideal one. All right, so, and if you haven't read the book yet, go out and get it, and please get one for somebody who's a high school or college kid just shaping their worldview and how to think right now. But how does this apply to you? Three areas. Number one, some of you are running companies big enough that you're running a company like a Google or an Apple. You could do what I just talked about there. You could create your own high school. You could get these scholarships, you're doing to get some of the most promising kids from around the world and teach them the real world skills in business and entrepreneurship. Number two, some of you are not running those kind of companies, but you could do that on a much smaller scale. You could find one or two people to nurture and guide along. And number three, and this is for most of you watching the video, is you could decide to create that kind of education for yourself. And that's a big part of what I'm talking about in the book, is taking, and even in the Risky is the New Safe book, I did the same thing. I'm challenging you to take charge of your own learning, because with the internet today, with social media today, the cloud, all of these mobile apps, you can create your own extraordinary education to become whatever it is you want to become. So think about that. If you got any comments or questions, suggestions, please put them below. Please share Prosperity TV. Tell your friends about it. Until next week, next time, same bad channel. Love you guys. Peace and live rich. Hey, next Monday, same thing, new show, and we'll be talking more about how you create this possibility thinking. So see you then.